These are the only items in the entire game that start with the letter X. This is not enough to make a house functional, and honestly, it's not even enough to furnish a house at all. Hi, hey, hello, my name is Sarah, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Alphabet Build Challenge, where I build houses in the shapes of different letters of the alphabet because I'm not a great builder, so I make silly builds on purpose. And today, we are up to the letter X, and let me tell you, I was terrified of this build, not so much for the building itself, but because of the twist that I have for this challenge. I also use build and buy options whose titles start with the same letter of the alphabet that I'm building. The example I always use for this is for the letter D house. I had to use this bush toilet because it was the duty calls toilet, and we had no other toilets that started with the letter D. It makes this challenge quite chaotic in such a fun way, and it also makes me use things that I would never normally use. But for the letter X specifically, we're not gonna have any furniture. So with that being said, let's jump into The Sims 4. I'll show you the floor plan, and then I've got to talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing for this build because I really had to do some scrambling for this build. So let's get into it. So this is the letter X shell from top down. The shape, perfection. Maybe one of the easiest builds that I've had to do so far. It was just about getting the dimensions right for this lot. This lot is the perfect size for it. I'm pretty sure it's a 30 by 30. Perfect size for it. House is a great size. So let's have a look at the floor plan. So this is what I've got for the floor plan. It actually changes a little bit, which I'll talk about the changes right now. But the front door ends up being over here, and you walk into a lounge room and then a hallway that leads to this room. But this little room here is a bathroom. It's kind of like the family bathroom. Everyone has access to this bathroom kind of thing. And then this room in the middle here, it kind of serves as just like a room to connect all of the other rooms. I end up making it kind of a skill building room. We end up having some like painting stuff, a piano in here because we had a lot of space, and then some other just cluttery goodness in here as well. Down on this side of the letter X, we end up having the kitchen and dining room. Because this room is so big, I was able to have a combination kitchen and dining room. It ends up looking really nice in my opinion. And then for the top end of the letter X, this side here becomes a children's bedroom, and I do also put a little room here as well and have an ensuite bathroom for them. Lucky kids, they get an ensuite bathroom. Amazing. And it ends up being 2 kids that I have in this room. Again, because this room is such a big space. It's a big space for 1 child. So I ended up putting 2 beds in here and furnishing it as if it was a room for 2 kids. And then on this side, we have the parents' bedroom and then their ensuite bathroom up the very top there as well. So with that being said, I've got to talk to you about this build before we get into the speed build. Because remember how I said that furnishing with items starting with the letter X, we were not going to have very many items at all? Well, as a matter of fact, these are the only items in the entire game that start with the letter X. I have all of the packs, even including the Crystal Collections pack. I have that. I've been through the entire game. These are the only items we have that start with the letter X, being the Extreme Shower Tub Combo, the X-180 Shatterproof Window, the X Marks the Spot Fence, the X2 Icebender Skis, the X2 Classified Timber Snowboard, the X-34 Land Speeder, and the X-Ray Machine. The whole purpose of this challenge is to make these homes functional. They are supposed to be functional homes. This is not enough to make a house functional, and honestly, it's not even enough to furnish a house at all. For this build, I decided to take it in a little bit of a different direction because along the same lines as the letter X, I've noticed going through every single item in the game, there's a few items that don't start with a letter of the alphabet, and that sounds really weird because they don't start with a word, they start with a number. And so I've decided that for this build, because we had so few options, to include all of the options that start with a number in this build. And I've got an example for what I mean. So I don't mean the number spelled out as a word. I mean the number as the numerical number. That is what I mean. So these are the extra options that we had available thanks to everything starting with a number. We even have a wallpaper option, the two-tone wall without wainscoting or trim. So that's nice. I use that in the kitchen and in the bathrooms. So these are all of the furniture options that I had with the letter X and with now numbers as well. But this still is not enough to make a house fully functional and fully furnished. So I decided to incorporate an extra challenge into this build in that I decided to use only the base game to fully furnish the rest of the house. You might not think that's much of a challenge. It is a challenge because the base game is very limited. I sort of forget how limited the base game is because I have all the packs and I'm used to just having so much choice. That's what I've decided to do for this build, is use the items that you're seeing here, but also use the base game to make this a fully functional house. And for the letter Y and the letter Z, I will be doing a similar challenge to make them fully furnished houses as well. But with that being said, now that I've done lots of talking, let's finally get into the speed build. So even though thanks to the letter X and the numbers, we did have a few options, I still had to choose a lot of options from the base game in order to make this functional, including a lot of wallpapers and flooring even. We had a window that started with the letter X. It's from Get to Work. It's like this tiny little lab window that I hated, but I decided that I just needed to use it because it started with the letter X and this is the letter X house. But then we did also have a window that came with cats and dogs that started with the number 3. So I was able to use that for the rest of the house. So because I had to choose everything else essentially, I decided to have some fun vibes. I started off with like a green color scheme. That'll change throughout, but the end result is really fun. I can't wait for you to see it. It took me a long time to do this build, probably the longest of my entire alphabet build series, and that is because I did have to choose so much. At least with all of the rest of the builds, I've kind of had the choices be dictated for me, but I had to make the decisions myself, and it did take a long time. Not in a bad way, I had so much fun with it, don't get me wrong. But it's just interesting even looking at this now and knowing how it turns out, seeing the changes. You'll see that I've just changed the outside wallpaper from the green brick to a brown brick because I was like, it's too much, I don't know, but I do end up sticking with some pretty fun color scheme vibes. So we're still putting windows, trying to find layouts and stuff. The kitchen is one of my favorite spots of this entire house. I think it turned out really nice, especially having the dining room in there as well. The combination kitchen and dining room is really nice. We did have this fridge that came with Realm of Magic. It's the 30, I think it starts with the number 30, so that's why I've used it, and that was nice. And then some beigey brown vibes. I do end up changing the color scheme to a little bit more of a darker color scheme in here as well, just because in the final scheme, when I finally work out what I'm gonna do color scheme wise, the fun colors and stuff, a lot of the accents were like darker wood accents, and this lighter wood, it suited what I had going on at the time I was doing the speed build, but it didn't end up suiting things in the long run. So we have just this beautiful little kitchen in this corner here. I love it, and with the little island counters as well, and then a big dining table. This is one that started with a number, and I was so happy to use it because I didn't want to have to pick one from the base game. So we're just so limited with the base game is all. And it was the same moving into the lounge room now. It was the same with the couches. Like I used one couch from the base game, but this couch is one that starts with a number, and I was so happy to use it because we just don't have a lot on offer with the base game. So being able to have something a little bit extra was really, really nice. So I did decide to use a fireplace from the base game as well because I like to use fireplaces in builds, and where we can, I will. So we also did have a couple of numerical options. You'll be seeing the globe in that lounge room is actually a bar. It starts with the number 16, and the guitar is from the Horse Ranch digital download stuff, like the early release stuff. I'm really sorry, but it starts with the number 63. So that's why I was able to do that. So honestly, I was kind of a little bit all over the place with this build because I had to choose a lot of it myself. I was unsure of where to start, so I'm kind of jumping between bedrooms and bathrooms and just putting like essential furniture in, and then I go back through and finish them up a little bit later on. But you will be seeing that I chose this beautiful like sagey kind of green wallpaper. I really like that wallpaper, and it did kind of dictate the fun color scheme that I wanted for this build. So in the parents' bedroom, we end up having like this green wallpaper, and then like yellow as an accent color. And then in the kids' bedroom, which is where I am at now, and these are not the beds that I end up sticking with. After I put that bathroom in, which you'll be seeing in a second, I do a little jump because I came back, there it is, there's the bathroom there. I end up changing these beds to different beds. We have green still as an accent to this room, but it's like a darker green with the lighter green wallpaper. So the kids' bedroom is honestly one of my favorite spaces in this house as well. I really, really like how it turned out. Such fun, cozy vibes. And it kind of felt like for the kids that maybe we had a child who was a younger child and a child who was maybe on the cusp of being a teenager is kind of the vibes that I was getting. In The Sims 4, there's not that kind of nuanced ages. Like they are just a child or a teenager. They're not in between. But in real life, we're pretending that this child is on the cusp of being a teenager, has slightly more mature taste than perhaps the more juvenile sibling. But back into the parents' bedroom, there was so much space in here, I really didn't know what to do. So when I don't know what to do in a bedroom, I put a little reading nook. You can't go wrong with a little reading nook, a bookcase on the wall, a couch to sit on, and a lamp. Fills the space beautifully. You can't go wrong. I do also put a coffee table in front of that couch as well, which ends up being super nice. And then I started changing some of the color scheme, and that's where I decided to end the speed build because I just needed to do the decorating. I felt like I'd gotten a lot of the main staple furniture. I just needed to do some of the decorating. I finalized the color scheme. I'm so excited for you to see it because you really have just seen the bare bones, and I'm super happy with how this build came out. With that being said, let's jump back into The Sims 4 and take a look at the completed letter X house. So this is the letter X from top down. And you'll be seeing green, everywhere green. You will have seen in the speed build that I used a lot of green accents at the very beginning, and then I changed it all throughout because I thought it was too much. I ended up changing it back to green because green is my favorite color, and because this is a little bit of a silly build and I had to choose a lot of things myself, I thought I'm just gonna have fun with it, and so I'm gonna make it green. We have a green home here, lush green, trees and grass everywhere, absolutely beautiful. So that's how it looks from top down. The roofing was also super easy to do, super happy with how it turned out. And then this is the letter X house from the front. I do apologize for the lighting. The lighting is a bit funky on this lot, but it is a green house once again. I changed from the green brick to this green because I loved the corner pieces as well. I do have to say this is a functional home, and I say that because we do have this planter box above the door, and I had to play test whether your Sims could still walk underneath that door, and they can. So this is a fully functional home. Beautiful green vibes. We've got the ivy everywhere. The ivy is the 5-point and the 7-point ivy, so that's why I was able to use it. And then we do have a lot of landscaping that is just base game landscaping as well. So this is what you see when you walk through the door. You're greeted by this little, I pretended it's like a family photo wall, but then I thought maybe these people are photographers because I do have a lot of artsy stuff in the center room that I'm excited for you to see. So maybe they're just photographers or painters because they look like paintings, but this is an artsy family, it seems to me. But then we swing around and this is our living space right here. Our couches with our fireplace, and then we've got a little reading nook. I love that. I love that little reading nook. That's one of my favorite little spots in this entire house. I love how it turned out. Super freaking cute. Like I said, you cannot go wrong with a reading nook. So we've got a few different colors going on in here. We've got the green with the wallpaper. We've got a different green with the chairs and the fireplace. And then we've got this like bluey tealy green. And I tried to reflect that in the curtains, tie it all together. Have the blue and the green two-tone curtains to try and tie it all together. Because with the base game, we are limited by furniture, but we are also limited by colors. So these chairs only came in 3 colors, and this was the only green color. So then if we come up, you can start to see through to the other room. We've got the piano, as you can see there. We do have a chess table here, and through this door we've got the common bathroom. It's what I call the common bathroom, the bathroom that everyone has access to, with the shower tub combo, and then swing back around and we've got the vanity and the toilet there. Pretty basic stuff for a basic bathroom. It's mostly base game, totally fine. And then coming into the center room, so let's come come and take a look at this. I have this little plant corner over here, which I had a lot of fun picking out the plants to put there. And then we've got this little like artist's corner here. Not little, it's actually a pretty big artist's corner. And this is what I mean where this family, because I always seem to get like the vibes for who is living here. This family does feel very artsy. And so one of them clearly is a painter. And then we've got some more canvases over here for storage. So let's come into the kitchen and dining because I know you can see it and it looks so pretty from this view. So pretty. I love it. Massive room, but really, really nice to be able to have a full dining table in here as well. And then we do have the kitchen over here. I like it with the darker wood better. It's super nice in my opinion. And then we'll swing around because we do just have a couple of like dining clutter stuff over here as well. So let's take a look at the parents' bedroom first. So this is what you see when you walk through the door, yellow being the accent color that I decided to do for this room. The reading nook, again, super cute with the coffee table. You do in fact love to see that. We've got a desk area as well. And then through this door here is the ensuite bathroom for this one. So just a slightly different layout to what we've already seen. We've got a his and hers basin. I like to do that in my builds, his and hers basin. They seem so luxurious to me. We do have the shower over here, and then back over the other side of the room, we've got this little nook for the toilet as well. Coming back out of the parents' bedroom though, and heading towards the kids' bedroom. And I can't wait for you to see this space. Remembering that I feel like there's two kids in here. One is on the cusp of becoming a teenager, one is a younger child. They have two different tastes, and I think that I was able to kind of blend that together nicely. So this is what you see when you walk into the kids' bedroom. So we've got dividers there to separate the beds from the rest of the space. We do have a little computer desk area here with more of these paintings that I'm pretending that the painter in this house painted for them. Super fun. And we've got another little couch area. It's supposed to be a reading nook, but I didn't put the bookshelf here because I didn't really have enough space for it. We've got a couple of little like cluttery stuff that looks like kids' toys, as well as actually having some kids' toys in here as well, trying to blend the ages together. We do have a stereo as well, but then let's come and take a look at the beds area. So this side kind of felt like maybe it was the child that's on the cusp of becoming a teenager, just the furniture options for like the bookshelf on the wall, the pictures on the wall, even the nail polish on the bedside table. It just kind of felt more mature to me than the other side of the room, which we have right here. So the shelving on the wall mixed with the star above the bed mixed with the bookshelf kind of feels a little bit more juvenile, but I think that they blend together really, really nicely. Also, I love these curtains with the little deer and the rabbit, and is that a bear? Is that supposed to be a bear? Looks kind of like a wombat, but I think it's supposed to be a bear. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this space came out. And considering this is such a big room as well, I think it's not too empty, which is really, really nice. And being able to have enough for both of the kids to feel comfortable, to be able to play, to be able to go on the computer. Yeah, I think it's nice. And then through this door, we have their ensuite bathroom. So vanity and toilet over here. And again, we've got the shower over on this side of the room. So with that being said, if you would like to download the letter X house for yourself, I will put it on the gallery. My gallery ID is sezrawrr, the exact same way it's spelled here, and you will find it under letter X house. Now, importantly, this house uses probably the least amount of packs of the entire alphabet build challenge because we didn't have a lot of furniture starting with the letter X, and we didn't have a lot of furniture that started with a number. So the majority of this build is actually base game. It's just a few bits and bobs here and there that use the other packs that you are seeing here. So, one thing I forgot to mention as well in the build, the Journey to Batuu spaceship thingy, this thing right here. I decided to pretend that that was like a jungle gym playground thing because we do have the alien spaceship playground thing. I pretended that it was similar to that and I put it outside there. So there it is, the letter X house on the gallery if you would like to download it yourself. But you guys, that's all I've got for this video of building a house in the shape of the letter X. I am excited for the letter Y. While I was going through and trying to find things for the letter X, I was already looking ahead for the letter Y, and we definitely have more furniture options for the letter Y than we do for the letter X. I still am going to have to incorporate another challenge in order to make it a fully functional home. If you would like to see that video or any of my other Sims content that I've got coming your way, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it to be notified of every time that I upload. And if you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like button down below and leave me a comment as well. For an emoji for the letter X, okay, this is gonna sound really weird, okay? Bear with me. You know the emoji of like the people that are like crossing their arms like this? You know, the emoji that's down there? Leave me one of those emojis in the comments down below to let me know that you got this far in the video, that you enjoyed the letter X house and the little twists and turns that we had along the way, and that you're excited to see the letter Y and the challenge that I'm gonna have to do for the letter Y, because honestly, the challenge that I've chosen for the letter Y, I'm not looking forward to. But I'm sure it'll be entertaining for you to watch. So with that being said, you guys, I hope you're having the greatest day ever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!